What's going on, guys? It's your boy Fano here, and in this video I'm going to give you guys the cheapest red themed loadout in CSGO. All of the skins in this video are going to have a shade of red to them, and they will be the cheapest of their kind. So if you're looking for a red themed budget loadout, then this is the video for you. The first skin I have for you is the USPS Check Engine Battle Scarred. You can get this skin on the Steam market for $1.05. And I believe it is from one of the newer collections, the 2018 Inferno collection to be precise. It looks pretty cool if you ask me, and the battle scar doesn't really bother me too much, but if it does bother you, you can probably spend a couple cents to $1 for a nicer pattern or condition. Nonetheless, if you are on a budget, the battle scar will do you just fine. And for our P2000 skin, you can rock the red frag cam field tested, which only costs 11 cents. For our Glock 18 skin, I decided to go with the Candy Apple Minimal Wear, which costs 34 cents on the Steam market, and an interesting fact is that it only comes in the factory new minimal wear and field tested conditions. And yeah, I think it's a pretty solid skin. It doesn't look too beat up in minimal wear, and if you're on a budget, the minimal wear is all you need. But for our Desert Eagle skin, look no further than the Light Rail Battle Scarred. You can get this skin on the Steam market for $1.87, and it's a very nice looking skin. It reminds me of the Desert Eagle Blaze mixed with a Desert Eagle Hypnotic, and I personally think in the Battle Scarred condition it looks amazing, and it's also the cheapest. But moving on, for our R8 Revolver, look no further than the Crimson Web Field Tested, which costs 14 cents on the Steam market. Moving on, we have the CZ75 Auto Pole Position Field Tested, which costs, obviously it's not the best looking red CZ75 Auto skin, however, since this is a budget loadout video for cheap red themed inventory, this is probably your best bet. Let me know what you guys think of the CZ Pole Position skin. I've personally never owned one, but now after this video I might just purchase one myself. For our 5.7 skin, I decided to go with the Capillary Field Tested, which only costs 10 cents on the Steam market. And for our Tech 9, I decided to go with the Red Quartz Minimal Wear, which only costs 16 cents on the Steam market. Hey, the skin has red in it. What more do you want? But for our P250 skin, I decided to go with the Nevermore Field Tested, which costs 55 cents on the Steam market, and while it is a little beat up in the field tested condition, it still contains a lot of red, and it is the cheapest P250 red skin you can find. For our dual Berettas, I decided to go with the Panther Field Tested, which costs 14 cents on the Steam market, and it is from the Weapons Case 3, so it is a fairly old skin, and I think it deserves more credit. It's definitely underrated and underused, so yeah, definitely check this skin out. But moving on to our AK-47 skin, I decided to grab the Orbit MK01 Field Tested. You can get this skin on the Steam market for $8.20, and it is the cheapest red AK skin you can currently get on the Steam market. I believe it's from the Operation Hydra collection, and it's pretty solid if you ask me. It is not beat up in field tested. It has a very interesting, unique pattern to it in my opinion, and yeah, definitely a skin to look out for. Obviously, if you have more money to spend, you can always go for the Red Lamb, but I think the Orbit will do you just fine. Moving on to the M4A4 skin, I decided to go with the Converter Field Tested. You can get the skin on the Steam market for $1.43, and while it is pretty beat up in the field tested condition, I decided to roll with it because it is the cheapest red M4A4 skin you can find on the Steam market, and it actually doesn't look too bad in my opinion, but again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. For our M4A1S skin, look no further than the Blood Tiger Minimal Wear. You can get this skin on the Steam market for $1.75, and it looks amazing in my opinion. However, the M4A1S Briefing is definitely cheaper, but it does not have as much red, and it arguably does not look as good. But for our AWP skin, I decided to go with the Acheron Battle Scarred. It only costs $1.67 on the Steam market for an AWP skin that has red in it. I definitely think you guys should check this skin out. Moving on, we have the SSGO8 Slashed Field Tested. You can get this skin on the Steam market for around 69 cents, and an interesting fact is that it only comes in 3 conditions: Field Tested, Well Worn, and Battle Scarred. For our Galil AR skin, I decided to go with the Signal Well Worn. You can get this skin on the Steam market for 43 cents, and it is pretty decent in the Well Worn condition. You don't need a fact new for it to look really good. Well Worn is the cheapest and will do you just fine. For our FAMAS skin, I decided to go with, yet again, the Survivor Z Battle Battle Scarred. It is the cheapest, best looking FAMAS skin in my personal opinion, and it is red. You can get it for 31 cents on the Steam market. However, if you guys have 70 cents extra, you can purchase a Valence Battle Scarred, which arguably looks nicer. For our SG553 skin, I decided to go with the Fallout Warning Battle Scarred. It only costs 17 cents on the Steam market. Likewise, for our AUG skin, I decided to roll with the Radiation Hazard Field Tested, which costs 53 cents on the Steam market. And for our Scar 20 skin, I decided to go with a Crimson Web Field Tested. It only costs 80 cents on the Steam market. It is a pretty old skin, and I think it deserves more love than it gets. For our G3SG1 skin, I decided to go with the Executioner Field Tested. It costs a whopping $1.90, and yeah, it's pretty much the only red G3 skin out there, so yeah. Moving on, we have the Nova Candy Apple Field Tested, which only costs 6 cents on the Steam market, as well as the Sawed-Off Full Stop Field Tested, which costs 18 cents on the Steam market. But for our XM1014 skin, I decided to go with the Red Python Field Tested. It costs 25 cents on the Steam market, and an interesting fact is that it does not come in the factory new condition. I think it looks just amazing, and I'm probably going to purchase one myself. For our Mag 7 skin, I decided to go with the Heaven Guard Field Tested, which costs 11 cents. It is not too beat up, it has some pretty good red, and it is from the Phoenix collection. But for our Negev skin, I decided to go with the Lionfish Field Tested, which costs 50 cents on the Steam market. Factory new is not possible on this skin, but I think the Field Tested looks just fine, not too beat up, and it looks pretty cool. But for our M249 skin, I decided to go with the System Lock Battle Scarred, which only costs 12 cents, and it has a pretty good amount of red to it. You don't need anything too fancy for this skin, because honestly, are you really going to be using this skin that often? Moving on, we have the Mac 10 Carnivore Field Tested. You can get this skin on the Steam market for 10 cents, and it does not show wearer, so yeah, see what's out there on the market and get the cheapest one you can find. For our MP7 skin, I decided to go with the Mischief Battle Scarred, which only costs 18 cents. For our MP5 skin, I decided to go with the Souvenir Lab Rats Minimal Wear, which only costs 15 cents. But for our P90 skin, I decided to go with the Shallow Grave Battle Scarred. It costs a whopping $1.81, but I think it looks amazing in Battle Scarred. I've personally never owned it, and I definitely think it looks really good just by inspecting it. Let me know what you guys think of this skin in the comment section below. I definitely don't see this skin used too often. For our PP Bison skin, I decided to go with the Candy Apple Field Tested, which costs 16 cents on the Steam market. And for our UMP45 skin, look no further than the Briefing Field Tested, which only costs 10 cents. And last but certainly not least, to match the 5.7 Capillary, I decided to go with the MP9 Capillary Field Tested, which costs 11 cents on the Steam market. It's actually pronounced capillary, Fano, get it right. But anyways guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was my cheapest red themed loadout in CSGO. Let me know what you guys thought of the skins in the comment section below. Do you guys own any of these skins? Which ones were your favorites? I'd love to hear that. And as always guys, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up to show your support. Also, if you would like to be notified of future videos, giveaways, and more, hit the subscribe button below. So until next time, this is Fano, signing out.